figures. So
we shall find a photocopy the available information and give it to them.
Okay. You are seated here? You are seated here? You are going to stand.
It's the sign language.
He stands. But he's talking. Here. But he's talking. He's talking, eh? The sign language, I thought he's, eh?
Just hear the message.
Okay. Good morning. Last week, we had an annual crime report, and we presented that report, and the IGP instructed us to further clarify on many issues in that report, and that is the reason why we are here. I am the Director Traffic and Road Safety, and today I'm going to give a lengthy report on the nature and the situation of road safety in this country. Allow me to begin by saying that the road traffic crashes in 2024 as compared to 2023 increased by 6.4%. And the total number of road traffic crashes were 25,107, which translates to that 6.4% increase. There were 4,434 crashes and 13,134 serious crashes, and there were 7,539 minor crashes. Out of these 25,107 road traffic crashes, there were 25,808 casualties. In other words, we had 25,808 casualties from road crashes 2024. I wish to mention that the highest number of casualties were recorded in the month of December. And these were 2,445 road crashes that occurred in the month of December in 2024. We have analyzed we have analyzed the trend of annual traffic crashes from 2022 to 2024. And I wish we had a graph, that graph projected, but we are unable. And what we notice is an increase in these figures, both the fatalities, serious accidents, and minor accidents. I wish to mention that fatal crashes are those crashes that we lose life. Where we register death is where, those are called fatal crashes. We can register death on the spot, or death resulting from a crash that occurs within a period of 1 year is captured as a fatal crash, as a fatality. So this one, I think you need to understand it, that we register death on the spot there, where the crash and collision, where the collision has occurred. But again, there could be serious injuries sustained by individuals and they are taken to hospital, but within a period of 1 year, if one succumbed by those injuries, then we register it as a fatality. So I want to assure you that we don't lose track when someone is seriously injured and is taken to hospitals. We always track those people, and finally they appear in our statistics. Serious crashes is when an individual is injured. A person is injured in a road crash, sustains some serious injuries and sustains some minor injuries on an individual. We group those injuries as serious crash. However, for minor, even though the collision results into write-offs of your vehicles, and you can never put it on the road, but no person is injured, we take it to be minor. So don't say, but my vehicle is now a write-off, I've lost it. And when you say it is a minor accident and you look at the extent of the damage, then you don't say, my vehicle, it was involved in a serious accident. We don't categorize it that way. The casualties arising out of these road accidents, there were 25, as I said, 25,808 casualties from road crashes in 2024 compared to 24,728 in 2023, giving a 4.4 increase in the number of casualties. We still continue to realize a trend in the number of casualties on our roads. And this year, the increment was registered as 4.4% increase in the number of casualties. I wish to mention that the victims, those who perished on our roads in 2023 were 4,806 victims. those died on our roads. In 2024, we registered 5,144 deaths, translating to 7% increase. Those who died on our roads. 5,144 in 2023. This is not a small number. This is a big number, and I would like to mention that these numbers have now crossed a red line. These fatalities have crossed a red line, and this should be treated as a public health concern in this country. 5,144 deaths registered in 2024 from road crashes has now reached a public health concern, and we need to move at strategic level and contain this situation. Those who sustained serious injuries in 2023 were 16,736, and in 2024 there were 17,013, translating to an increase of 1.7%. 17,000 sustained serious injuries, and this is adding on the statistics of the disabled population in this country. This has an impact on our labor force. We are weakening the labor force. The productivity of the labor force, what we call labor force productivity, is decreasing if this trend is not addressed urgently. 17,000 to sustain serious injuries is a high number. Further, the Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety analyzed the time when these crashes occurred, and these are the findings. More crashes were reported to have occurred during the daytime than night time. And the same trend is reflected on the fatalities tables. The statistics we analyzed, the fatalities also fall into that category, that trend. It was discovered that more crashes occurred between 6 p.m. to 7:59 p.m. in the evening. That is 1800, sorry, this is between, no, it is 1600. 1600 is 4 p.m. I repeat. The analyzed statistics reveal that more accidents occurred during 1600 hours to 1759 hours. That is between, in our local language, 4 p.m. to 5:59 p.m. The same period between 1600 hours to 5900 hours is when also we register fatalities. This is on a normal day, a crash hour. But again, we realized on further analysis, we realized that these fatalities and these more crashes occur on Sundays. Why do people die on a Sunday when we have less vehicles on our roads? We analyzed further this information and discovered that one, speed as a cause, two, intoxication. Majority of our drivers go to leisure places and get intoxicated and jump into their vehicles, drive and overturn or kill other road users. And therefore our interventions will be guided by these findings, properly analyzed by our directorate. It is unfortunate that the highest number of these crashes, the fatalities, during this time of 1800 hours and 1959 hours, in 2024, we lost 894 persons during that rush hour. Tuesdays, you need to register this, that on Sundays, that's the day of the week, we registered 3,790 crashes. And on Saturdays, we registered 3,765 crashes. And on Friday, we registered 3,689 crashes. But when you check the figure of Tuesday, is the lowest, followed by Wednesday the lowest, and Thursday the lowest. Come Friday, the figures go up. Saturday, they continue going up. And on Sunday, this is where we have chaos on our roads. We need to tame these 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, if we are to reduce these road crashes. The directorate further analyzed crashes by collision type, and we discovered that collisions with pedestrians constituted 19.5% of all crashes. Collision with pedestrians, these people who walk, who are standing on the roads, who cross the roads on foot. They are not making U-turns. They cross the roads. This constitutes 19.5% of all crashes. However, the rear end collisions and side swipes accounted to 16.2% and 17.7% respectively. Side swipes, 17.7%, and rear end collision, 16.2%. What do we mean by rear end? This is what we call tailgating in traffic, that you don't leave a reasonable distance when you are following another vehicle or a motorcycle on the road. You should leave a reasonable distance, and it is an offense not to leave that distance. That braking distance, in case of any hazard, if you don't leave enough space, then you will hit that vehicle which is in front of you. And that's what we call rear end collisions. But the side swipes are these where on the sides vehicles collide with each other. The collisions on the sides. And these can be caused by a number of factors, as we realize. That someone may be dodging a pothole and gets a side swipe. Someone may be overtaking, improper overtaking, and you end up with that side swipe. Or even to dodge head-on collision, you can also have that, side swipe. And these are becoming many in spite of our roads, which may also be narrow. So they are becoming many, and last year they contributed to 17.7%. They are head-on collisions, the head-to-head. The head-on collisions accounted for 13%, and the angle collisions for 10.5% of all crashes. However, there were 9% of all crashes registered as single vehicle crashes, where you are alone, you hit an obstacle, or you overturn. Because of speed, or because of any other improper driving arising out of the driver behavior. We also have that our animals still cross the roads, and we also register those crashes, and they amount to 1.6%. The causes of these crashes were also analyzed, and we found out that careless overtaking and speeding were the leading causes of road crashes in the year 2024, accounting for 44.5% of all these crashes. Speeding alone registered 5,505 crashes, and careless overtaking, we registered 5,657, and these are the leading causes of the crashes in 2024. There are several, ranging from using a mobile phone, the dazzling lights on vehicles, and these are mainly trucks, and some station wagons. And then we have obstacles on the carriageways, violating traffic signals, neglecting right of way, neglecting the right of way. 335 crashes were registered because of that. Violating traffic regulation, direction, careless pedestrian. We also have pedestrians that do cross carelessly. We have analyzed we have analyzed all these crashes one by one. And there is no crash that is similar to the other. Each is unique of the other. And that's why we are coming up with such a figure of careless pedestrians. Those who were involved in crashes because of their carelessness, when they are walking along or crossing the road carelessly, were 946 persons. And those who were following too close, that tailgating, were 1,753 crashes. We analyzed the trend of death on our roads, and we found out that in 2023, the drivers who died were 232. And in 2024, the drivers who died were 228. However, the results and the findings we got on the motorcyclists were very, very absurd and high. In 2023, 1,520 motorcyclists were killed on our roads. And in 2024, the number increased by 13.2%, amounting to 1,720 motorcyclists deaths. And this number continues to go up. However, we also registered an increase in the death of passengers on motorcycles. Whereas in 2023, there were 614 passengers on motorcycles dying, in 2024, they were 676, an increase of 10.1%. Therefore, if you look at the motorcyclists' death and the passengers on motorcycles and add these two figures, they will amount to 43.3%. 43.3% as death arising out of motorcycle-related accidents. And therefore, we appeal to all stakeholders to increase vigilance on handling the motorcycle problem on our roads. We also registered passengers in light omnibus, registered death of many passengers in light omnibus. These are vehicles that we call Toyota Hiace, where the drones fall, the so-called drones. Ugandans, you like baptizing vehicles. One is called Chibina, one is called Chigege, one is called drone, one is called Kamunye. You like baptizing. But those are local names. But all these vehicles are Toyota Hiace. And these are 14-seater passenger vehicles. These are private owned. And they do business of transporting you people. And they have now become a menace. The highest number is arising out of the fact that it is very difficult to trace the drivers that are fatigued because of the several journeys they make. A good example, though bad because it killed people, was a taxi that was hired by those who were going to attend a burial. This taxi had been on the road since 6 a.m. up to 7 p.m. and was working between Kabale and Mbarara. In the evening, it was hired by people in Ntungamo district to go to Hoima through Chegegwa and to move at night. I don't think those who hired knew that the driver was fatigued, or they asked whether it would be safe for such a driver they had hired to travel at night. A person who had driven the whole day started a long journey driving at night. At the end of the day, we lost almost all passengers in that vehicle. Now, it is very difficult for police to trace and find out whether that driver has been the one has been driving 24 hours. It's very difficult in these taxis. And this issue is becoming common when we look, when we analyze our footages in the CCTV rooms. We discover that this vehicle has been on the road, and at night it gets an accident without changing a driver. So the passengers who die in this way are becoming many. I also appeal to local governments to identify those markets, the open markets, such that we, together with them, educate that our people should not travel with the luggage on lorries. The lorries are goods vehicles. They should carry the bales of clothes and the other items on the truck, but the traders should move in buses and taxis. They should use other means other than being carried as a mixed baggage on the truck. When the truck gets a problem, we lose many people. And these markets are out of the reach in rural areas where traffic is not deployed. We appeal to local authorities to liaise with traffic officers wherever these trucks and markets operate to reduce the possibility of death for these market vendors. The pedestrians, as I noted earlier, yes, we still register a high number, but in 2024, we reduced the death on the pedestrian by 0.5%. I don't know whether it is because the Busega market has shifted, because it was operating on the road. And I want to thank those who shifted the market to somewhere now an enclosed area. However, it remains operating on the side of the road. Now, why pedestrians are dying most is because in Uganda, most of our open markets are along roads and highways in this country. Now, these open markets, again, sell alcohol, and alcohol is readily available in this country. If you have a 500 shilling coin, you will access alcohol. Even 100 coin, you can access alcohol. we need to do something. Alcohol in this country has become a big problem. Domestic violence, alcohol surfaces. You analyze traffic death, alcohol surfaces. What's wrong with Ugandans taking alcohol to the extent that you must die? Can't we reduce this consumption of alcohol? Should it remain a problem? Ugandans should learn how to tame their alcohol consumption. And this is self-regulation. Some of you leave your fridges at home and they are not locked. And the previous day you had visitors and you have left alcohol in those fridges and you have left adolescents in your home. The next thing we hear, someone has overturned or several young children have died in a crash, to discover they were moving from a certain home, going to another home, and had taken alcohol. Please let us tame the appetite and the way we take this alcohol in this country. Lastly, I want to echo on crash fatalities by police regions. We compared policing regions, and these are the results. The regions of Ruizi, Kampala North, KMP East, KMP South, Arbatine and Wamara regions recorded high number of fatal crashes, and these are now on our red line. The regions of Greater Masaka, Rwenzori West, Busoga East, North, and Savannah had fatal crashes ranging between 200 and 297, and if we had projected, you would see this map clearly. But again, we also have what we call the crash severity index by policing regions. And when we calculated this, we came out with again interesting results. And the crash severity index was highest in the regions of Busoga North, Rwenzori West, in Ruizi, Kigezi, Arbatine, and Bukedi North, where between 35 to 45 people died in every 100 crashes. The severity index is a simple calculation. Simple calculation that out of every 100 crashes, how many people die? And we found out that in Busoga North and Ruizi, Arbatine, you have the highest. This means that when you get 100 crashes, around 45 people die, and this number is high. The chances are that when you are involved in any crash, you will die. The probability is almost a half. You find yourself involved in a crash, death is likely to occur. These regions have also been mapped, and we know all of them. We also analyzed the fatalities by age group, and discovered that more fatalities were recorded for persons below the age of 35 years, accounting for 55% of all fatalities. You need to note that more fatalities were recorded for persons below the age of 35 years. And this accounted for 55.7% of all fatalities. How many people were killed? Those ones below 35 years were 2,867. The age below 35. Isn't this the age of the youth? These are the youth. Now, the youth in this country, we are reducing them by 2,867 persons. By 2024, we lost them. And you are talking about labor productivity. However, the old people above 65 to 74, they are not dying as this group. But again, around 80% of these who die are male and 20% female. Is it because female do not drive vehicles? Or they don't drive on Sunday, Saturday and Friday evening? Is it because this funny behavior on our road use is risky among the males more than women? These are the questions we need to pose and design proper intervention. But I want to appeal to you young boys. The roads are going to kill you unless you change your behavior, especially on Friday evening, Saturday evening, and Sunday evening. You are dying. What's wrong with those days at night? Should we say females are at home and you people, you are roaming around the city, in towns? These are questions we need to ask ourselves. It is not that ladies don't drive, they do drive. But it is 20% that perish in this. And yet 80 are males. I need to mention, lastly, that there are, of course, challenges. And these challenges on drug use, the toxic intoxication. Toxic substances are many, and it seems we have a population that is ready to consume those toxic substances. And the more we consume them and enjoy them, the more death and serious injuries we register on our roads. We also need to look into this issue and see how to reduce consuming toxic substances. And there are a variety, and you know them. I hope there is no one who consumes them and is present in this room. But I know out of a congregation like this one, we cannot fail to get like 20%. And the names are now beginning to come up. I don't know. But we need to do something about this intoxication. We also have that challenge of these motorcycles, and I still advise that to reduce crashes related to motorcycles, we need to control a whole chain of motorcycle business in this country, right from importation, where they come as spares, they are assembled in different places where police may not know, others are assembled in people's homes, and these motorcycles find their way on the roads. We need to control the importation. We need to gazette areas where we sell these motorcycles. It should not be any person to assemble and sell. And then regulate the use, that by the time it gets out on our roads, is properly registered, has a rider known, and where that rider is going to operate. And when it is an obsolete, we also have a mechanism of destroying these motorcycles. But I also want to explore, even if we get these electric motorcycles, that we can reduce on the speed, but also we need to explore the type of motorcycle, and we don't rely on a high-powered motorcycle Bajaj that we use to carry passengers. We also have these, what do you call them? You can't carry two people. Scooter. Have you seen scooter? The scooter, you cannot ride it on a speed beyond even 20, 30. And it only carries two people. I mean, a rider and one person. Isn't it? If we are to reduce carnage, we also need to look into the available motorcycles and see which is we can use so that we save life. But if we go by the business angle, is where we get it wrong, and this is why motorcyclists are dying. Road safety is the principle that we should follow in regulating these motorcycles, not a business perspective. There are steps by government that are being taken to improve road safety. Number one, the mandatory vehicle inspection, and as I said last week, if it is fast-tracked, will significantly reduce vehicles which are not roadworthy. But again, they will reduce the vehicle adjustments which are done by private people, owners. And this will help us to contain the load on these motor vehicles and ensure that they carry the load according to the license they have, or according to the manufacturer's specifications. When you get a license of your vehicle, please do not go and have adjustments on those vehicles, because you want to carry a double load. That may cause malfunction of some parts of this vehicle and can cause the accidents. Two, the government is considering automating driver testing systems in order to control driver competence and standards. We are already in partnership with the Ministry of Works and Transport, and so soon these facilities will be in place and all driver testing systems will be automated, and we shall achieve that competency and standards in driving. We are also fast-tracking the intelligent transport monitoring system with a view of disciplining drivers and riders and reducing speed on our roads. Once this project of intelligent transport monitoring system is in place, we shall reduce speed, and we shall reduce on this discipline on our riders. We also have the long term, which we cannot achieve tomorrow. For example, the road redesigning our roads. We need to develop road infrastructure that can discipline road users. If you can't be disciplined by yourself, then the designers of the roads should discipline you. We should separate our traffic. We shouldn't have a traffic mix where a wheelbarrow pusher is struggling with space with a trailer, with a bus, and with a station wagon, and a small car, and motorcyclists. We should separate our traffic, segregate it. If the road design can create where motorcycles can ride, where pedestrians can walk, and lanes for fast-moving vehicles, then is when we can say our roads are taming these drivers, and we shall reduce the death and serious injuries tremendously. And this is a long-term project of redesigning these roads. You don't have the money today that you have those roads. You always compare with those countries which have been here for so long, those developed countries, Britain, Dubai, and you say that infrastructure can come here today. Lastly, also to implement mass transit transport system, and this includes railway transport and the Kayora bus transport, where many people are transported from point A to point B. Because these means of transport are not available, the boda-bodas tend to carry most of our passengers. If the passengers move in this mass transport system, the boda-bodas will have no market, and therefore they will wither by themselves. I want to thank you, because we did not have the projector. It has taken long. If we had the projector, it would take less time. Thank you very much for listening.
We shall entertain questions later. Let me invite the director. Then the committee will give a few remarks on the report that was launched last week.
Good morning, everybody. I'm happy to be with you here once more. So, as traffic has finalized, I also follow with an overview on the annual crime report on fires in this country, fire prevention and rescue services. I want to thank you very much for being very patient As we gave you the report the other week, we have also to give you in details. And I start by saying there was an increase of 13. Somebody will say, I have not introduced myself. I am AIGP Stephen Tanui, the Director of Fire Prevention and Rescue Services, Uganda Police. So there was an increase of 13.8 in the number of fires reported from 1,104 in 2023 compared to 1,280 in 2024. Out of the cases reported, 1,150 were successfully handled. 120 were handled before arrival. And 10 were fixtures fires. 67% of the fires were reported between 0600 hours to 1200 hours. 67% of the fires were reported between 0600 hours to 12, then 33% were reported between 100 hours to 6 in the morning. And that one, as you analyze, it was a 13.8% increase. In 2023, there were 1,104, and an increase of 76 cases in 2024, totaling to 1,280. In 2022, there was also an increase in 2022 compared to 2023, which was a decrease. Now, when you analyze this, you look at 67% of the fires were reported within 06 in the morning to midday. That is 1200 hours. That is the time when everybody is active in this country here. Many people are using the gadgets like the way you are now here. Others are cooking. If you went to Kampala now, it's a very busy area, including our villages. So that is the time when we register many fires in this country. The majority of the fires were registered in residential buildings, followed by makeshift structures with a total of 300 and 250 respectively. In the same situation, there was a 9% increase in school fires. As you are aware, school fires were 50 cases in 2023. In 2024, we had 55, an increase of 5 cases, giving us a 9% increase. Ladies and gentlemen, you are aware that there was a time where the fires had become a problem in schools. and because of various reasons. But in 2024, the government officials, the Uganda police, and we have done a lot of sensitization here, even it is ongoing. As we continue, there is some teamwork going on, and that's why the numbers are really reducing. Major causes of fires, electricity related, ranging from electrical circuits in the two, which were 270, to electrical appliances left unattended, totaling to 111. It was followed by negligence and misuse of work scandals, which carried 217, among others. The majority of occurrences were in Kampala metropolitan. The Kampala metropolitan region, policing area, with 993 cases registered in 2024. Kampala is unique. It has a lot of urban issues. Even fighting fires in Kampala here is very complicated. You know our suburbs the way they are. I may not spell all of them. If you went to Chisenyi there, fire has been rampant there. We take 5 minutes responding to fire in Chisenyi, but it will take us the whole day fighting that fire. Why? Access to those places is complicated. Now, we looked at the regions with the highest fire occurrences. That is going now one by one. Central region was leading with 24%. Nakawa area with 13%. Rubaga with 7%. Kawempe 32%. Wakiso, Entebbe, Mukono, Mpigi, and others who are going to give you, I know you already have. Then Alubatine also, we are realizing that where there is a lot of an increase in development, the issues of fire incidents is coming up. So as the country develops, we need to plan heavily in fire prevention. It is not, we don't like very much responding to fires, but the best is to prevent. But where situations arise and prevention has failed, then we go in and put off those fires. And we have a lot of strategies into that, which we shall share. So emergency rescued affected. That is rescues which were affected in the year 2024. You look at road accidents, it reduced. We rescued very few people there. But the highest was pits, open and closed pits. We rescued 200 persons, which was the highest. Then the valley dams and fish ponds, those people who drop into, who fall into ponds and valley dams were the 50, followed by septic tanks in the homes, there were 10. Then the collapsed structures, these stone quarries, to rescue the 7 people there. 4 centuries, 2. The total was 315 people rescued in 2024. Let's look at major causes of fire. Number 1 was negligence. It's true, we noted a highest number here. People tend to neglect most of their appliances, candle wax in homes. We even registered a case where a lady decided to put a candle wax, locked the house with the children inside, and he went for a club in the night. Coming back in the morning, there is no house. Children tried to fight at the doorway. The door was locked from outside. And we lost those human beings. Originating from candle wax, the mattress was there and a net. So we warn our people really. Let's style up. I wish she had even left the door open. Could be these children would have survived. Those are some of the negligences. So it was the highest, and then poor cooking habits, charcoal stoves, cookers. You know how people tend to cook in the night, especially boiling those foods, ready to serve in the morning. And they go and rest and forget them. Leave those charcoal stoves unattended, cookers, and that is how we get these fires. There were 100. Electrical circuits were 270. Electrical appliances left unattended to 111. Uncontrolled burning. We also have cases which are under investigation, 200. Not readily established, under investigation, 200. And we shall give you the results after. Sparks, 150. Gas cylinders. You remember the case of Nansana, the case of Natete. Gas cylinders are becoming a danger also. We want people, when you want really to service some of these cylinders, get experts. Not just rush because you have seen it. The total was 1,280. Number of cases reported. Now, I also want to touch this year. We had the top 8 buildings and installations saved from fire in 2024. We saved the house, Kawa Communication Building, Namamve. It took our team about between 1 to 10 minutes, and we were there. And we managed to save that building. American Embassy, Makindia Division, Kampala. We also saved that building. NSF building, Kampala Central Division. The team from fire and the rescue services saved that building. A Nigerian embassy, imagine a flat and all those people were up in the flat and fires at the cupboard, all this, the down floor. Those people were waiting for nothing but death only. But within 5 minutes, the teams were able to save them, and they were very appreciative. And it was our pride also, saving lives. There is nyumba kubwa here in Arua Park. It took the team 5 minutes. All the fire had covered down and people were up on the building. But our teams were able to rescue them. Even Cooper Complex, we had also devastating fires responded to in 2024. Kaleriwe Market was on fire. Our teams were able to fight that fire, save life and property. Chigogwa town center on Bombo Road. A fuel tank overturned there. The problem with fuel tankers in this country who tend to economically benefit from such items. But we want to warn our people, where there is a fuel tank, especially petrol, never risk there. That is a death trap. That town was, by the way, going. But our teams managed to fight that fire. It is one of the worst fires, by the way. In the firefighting, if you discuss with not firefighting. You will never know that fire is dangerous until it occurs in your relative or in your compound. Our people don't take it serious. This is life. If there is a fire, you are likely to lose life, you are likely to lose property. You are likely to, if you have been having property, you are likely to be a poor man in the next day, or a poor lady. So we appeal to members of the public to really embrace fire prevention. We have standby teams. You can imagine where you're on standby, not knowing where you are going to respond when there is a fire incident. But we are concentrating on fire prevention. And we appeal to all members here, the press. Can we work to enhance the preventive aspect of firefighting than waiting for fire to occur? Then my appeal again is right of way. Let's respect these rescue vehicles. If you see a fire tender, a fire bouncer responding to a fire incident, open up the road and they go and save life. Because any delay is death. We reach there when the person has died. It's a duty of government to protect everybody. But our people are very stubborn on roads. The director of traffic here has talked. We normally have standby teams at fire headquarters. Just coming out of fire headquarters there, people don't want to leave that road. And we are going to save a person in a pit latrine, in a pond, in a dam. It is true we have some challenges. The gaps up country. We still have gaps up country. We are deploying regions. We have not deployed the districts. But the Inspector General of Police is working day and night with the government to make sure that we close those gaps as we enter the next financial year. Otherwise, I appeal to all of you, when you see a fire tender, please leave us past and save a person. I mean, save life. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you. I'm still with you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Let's allow the Deputy Director, CID, come and also give an overview of the annual crime report.
Good morning, friends. Good morning, sirs and PRO. My name is Chelimo Biata. I'm a Senior Commissioner of Police and a Deputy Director, Criminal Investigations Directorate of the Uganda Police Force. It's my pleasure to give you an overview of the Crime Report 2024. Now, overall, in 2024, there was a reduction of crime by 1.1%. The number of cases reported to police. This is in comparison with cases reported in 2023. In we had 218,715 cases as compared to 228,074 in 2023. Now, out of those cases, 81,750 cases were taken to court. And from those taken to court, 26,328 convictions were attained. That makes about 54% conviction rate. The conviction rate is driven from the number of cases taken to court, not the overall number of cases reported. The number of cases pending in court are 43,579. Cases indicated not proceeded with are 46,302. Cases that are not proceeded with are cases that are reported, but you find that either they are civil or the complainants lose interest. So it means you did not continue to investigate them. Cases acquitted, acquittals in court are 1,510. Overall cases submitted to the Director of Public Prosecutions were 1,119. This is what, 1,119, 939 cases. You know that our work is to inquire into a matter, submit to the Director of Public Prosecutions, who determines whether the evidence collected can allow us charge or there is no evidence, no crime detected. Cases under inquiry, which now become backlog for this year, are 90,663 cases. Cases dismissed in court were 10,333, and the detective backlog, the number of cases a police officer investigating a case is 1 to 43 cases. It's huge. Now, thefts were 61,529 cases registered, representing about 28% of the total number of cases. This was low compared to cases 65,901 cases reported in 2023, thus giving a decrease of 6.6%. Assaults, by the end of 2024, 29,580 cases, representing about 13.5% of the total cases reported, were assault, and there was a decrease of 1%. Sexual-related offenses. Sexual-related offenses were 14,425 cases, representing about 1.6% overall cases reported in the country, and there was a decrease of 2.8%. Domestic violence. 14,073 cases of domestic violence were reported to police, as compared to 14,681. Thus, a decrease of 4%. Breakings. There was a total of 13,511 cases of breakings reported in 2026, making a 2024, making a representation of 6.2% compared to 14,546 cases reported in 2023, thus a reduction of 7.1%. Economic crimes. Economic crimes were a total of 13,132 cases reported in police, as compared to 12,000. You now note that we had a higher increase of economic crimes in 2024, about 1.6% increase in the crimes. The main reports, economic crimes, are contained in page 57. I want to go there because we want to break it down. It shall be our interest, definitely, to understand why the increase. Economic crimes include embezzlement, causing financial loss, abuse of office, counterfeiting, forgeries and uttering false documents, issuing of false checks, bank-related fraud and corporate frauds. These are crimes that are not provided for in our Police Form 1, but are provided for under the law. They include money laundering, obtaining by false pretenses, which is the highest in this category, obtaining money by false pretense, obtaining goods by false pretense, obtaining land titles by false pretense, cyber crimes, among others. So we see there was an increase in that. A total of 10,100 cases. Child-related offenses. 4.3% of the reported cases were as a result of child-related offenses, with 9,408 cases where children of juveniles were direct victims of crime. This may include child desertion, failure to provide, child trafficking, thus making 12.4% decrease in comparison with 10,741 cases reported in 2023. Robberies. Again, in the main report, robberies are contained in page 74. A total number of 8,163 cases of robberies were reported to police countrywide, compared to 7,772 cases, making an increase of about 5%. When you look at 74, robberies, it gives you a breakdown of the kind of robberies reported, and there is a comparison. You see an increase. These robberies are attributed to unemployment. People take the law into their hands to try and find a living. Moral issues or moral decadence, and drug abuse. You will see a number of cases, kickboxing, people robbing with knives, of people robbing during the day with machetes. Those are robberies. Malicious damage to property. A total of 7,992 cases of malicious damage to property were reported to police countrywide, compared to 8,043 cases reported in 2023, thus constituting 6% of the overall crime and 3% decrease. Homicides. Homicides are murders that are believed to have been caused with intent. A total of about 4,329 cases, representing about 1.9 cases of in total reported in the year 2024. This was compared to 4,248 in 2023. That's an increase of about 1.9 cases of homicide reported countrywide. Homicide cases may include, and not limited to, cases of strangulation, strangulation being a kind of method of killing, always associated with domestic violence, cases of land, cases of stress, passion killings, people killing their loved ones. Then we had arson. A total of 1,604 cases of arson were reported to the police countrywide, compared to 1,792 cases reported in 2023, making a decrease of about 10%. Land-related cases. A total of 397 cases of land-related crimes were reported to police, compared to 271 cases reported in 2023. This makes an increase of 46%. Cases of land fraud related offenses include fraudulent acquisition of land titles, criminal trespass, fraudulent acquisition of obtaining registration by false pretense, forgery, among others. We did not have a big number of political-related offenses. We had a total of 105 cases as compared to 125 cases, giving a decrease of 16%. That is it from the statistics. Now, when you look at some of the specifics that I thought we could share with you are cases of suicide. Whereas the number did not increase, but together we should look into the cases of suicide. Of late, we have seen cases of children committing suicide, and a specific research should be done. What we now know is that some of these suicides are attributed to stress, mental illness, expectations, failure to meet obligations. Some people are in debt, and I think the only solution is suicide. We want to appeal to our people that suicide is not a solution. And I think we should work together with the press and our community to educate and engage our people. People should learn to speak out. I saw the RDC of Mbarara the other day confiscating national IDs from moneylenders. Speak out, because the state is there to protect you. Some people are in debt that is fraudulent. Then we have bank frauds and corporate offenses. We have Ponzi schemes, schemes where people are defrauding investors or lying about the existence of specific businesses. There is identity theft. There is insider trading in some banks. There is money laundering, the washing of dirty money. There are forgeries, and I thought to bring that to our attention, because fighting crime is not just a police role. It's our duty, all of us as a people. One of the key challenges that we have in case management is witnesses not willing to cooperate with the police. Someone saw, someone heard, but for some reason, they don't want to support the investigations to the end. Now, that affects completion of inquiries and has a huge implication on the court's decision. We want to appeal to you, our people, that together we can fight crime if we cooperate, and you can give this information in confidence to allow the investigations to find proper leads to the crime. We have issues of managing crimes related to sexual offenses, crimes like defilement, crimes like rape. In some communities, defilement appears to be normal. You find a case has been reported not for purposes of prosecution, but for purposes of engaging the family of the boy to either marry the girl or to get some money. Again, we want to appeal to you, our good people, that once a crime has been committed, a case of defilement has a huge implication on the life of that girl child. And therefore, our parents, brothers and sisters, we need to support the investigations to the end so that we have these persons punished and these victims protected. Issues of managing crime, generally because of numbers, I want to thank the Inspector General of Police for implementing the directive of the President. If we deploy in the sub-county policing model and we successfully support those police officers to manage crime at that level, we shall have reduced crimes. Because it means that in every sub-county, there are at least trained police officers to manage cases reported to police. As a directorate and as a force, we are working on strategies to, one, work with you to prevent crime, and two, work with you to manage the crimes that have already occurred. Some of them include and are not limited to community policing. We have the Directorate of CPC. We work together to engage, and we shall start going to schools and talking to these young people. These are different trends. These are different. The youth of today are not necessarily like the youth of yesterday. There is a lot of social media. There are a lot of friends. I usually tell the young people I meet, including my own children, that you have a lot of friends you have never met. And you find your child is engaged on the phone throughout the day. And then they get disappointed on the phone and sometimes probably commit suicide because of love that has been lost from a person you have never met. So we need to re-engage our children at school level and let them comprehend some of the things. We need to work with all the stakeholders, including you, the Fourth Estate. When you see crime, it is okay to report it, but it is also important that we manage it together. Get the evidence. Criminal investigations is about finding evidence sufficient enough to establish whether a crime has been committed and by whom, so as to get that person punished. The intention of punishment is to reduce on future crime. So I know that if we work together, we can change that. We are working with crime intelligence organizations to ensure that we gather and prevent crime before it occurs, strengthening crime investigations through training of police officers on emerging crimes. We need to improve on the professional and ethical conduct of our police officers. Good people, who pays police officers? It is our prayer that you help us report corrupt police officers. Because if you don't report, it will be in rumors. But if you let us know in time, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations has an inspectorate unit that works together with the Professional Standards Unit to investigate cases of misconduct by police officers. Where you think a policeman has been compromised while managing a case, where you think the police officer is deliberately leaving evidence that you think can support a criminal case, please report. Because together again, we can fight misconduct. We need to support the directive of the President of implementing the sub-county policing model. As a directorate, we believe that the Inspector General's deployment of police officers at that level, if properly managed and they get the tools they need in those units, we shall surely see a crime going down. Strengthening forensic science. Some of the cases we deal with come after, more like an afterthought. But again, on cases of rape and defilement, victims are always tormented. Victims fear. They fear to report, until they probably talk with someone who advises them to report. Now, for cases of that nature, there is critical evidence that you need to secure to prove the case in court. And so forensic science becomes very instrumental. So we are working together with the Directorate of Forensic Science, Forensic Services, and the Government Analytical Laboratory to see that we strengthen our investigations by also securing forensic evidence. And the unemployment, I think that is for us to see how to engage the youth and government to support the youth to manage, find a way of living. You know, when we go to school, we all seem to think we shall finish school and this job is waiting for us. Then when you finish school, reality hits. And then you try to find other solutions. We appeal to our youth to find other methods of survival other than trying to steal. We appeal to the members of the public to help us work together. You are the witnesses we are looking for. You are the one who saw. You are the one who heard. Probably the person came and hid at your home. So we are appealing to you, people of Uganda, that together we can actually fight crime. I noticed from our report that we did not segregate for you data to include the age group. And when I'm talking, I keep mentioning the youth. In most of the cases, the youth are the main persons, and particularly male. If you look at the report, you will notice that for every crime, the highest, because we have segregated by gender, but you notice that the male are the highest the highest suspects or accused persons. In the next report, we shall ensure that we segregate data by age. I want to thank the Inspector General of Police for giving us an opportunity to give you this brief. Asante sana.
Thank you. We are going to entertain questions relevant to what has been talked about. And you will mention your name, where you're coming from, and whom you're directing the question to. In the room, we also have Commissioner of Police, representing the Director CPC. So you can direct your question to whoever you want. So we shall, directors, we shall have the questions. Then the question is directed to you, you write it down, and then you answer once. Like in the order we have used while addressing you.
Thank you, PRO. Johnson, Editor-in-Chief, Spy Patrols. I have two questions for Director Saidi and two questions for Director Josh. Director Saidi, number one. According to the report, corruption and economic cases increased from 12,924 to 13,132. The public wants to know corruption involves money. How much did these people would have stolen? Because we do not have it in the report. You know how much taxpayers' money is lost to these things. Secondly, we are seeing gun violence increasing. It's strange. In the report, 188 cases were reported, where 405 people were shot dead. Could you have recovered some of these guns? And among the suspects you arrested and taken to court, we have secured the personnel. Thank you so much. Then, Director, according to the report, most accidents occur on Fridays, Saturday, and most on Sundays. And you have said speeding and hallucination. Are we seeing the Secondly, we have always seen police carrying out operations and people are given seats. How much in their express seat? How many were issued and how much did we collect from the government? Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So I want to add in something on the question
Your
of
name and where?
my name is Luvan of the BBC. So I found that talk about some corruption and other economic cases. I would like to know how much did you recover in last year, and then how much did you return to government? That's enough. So if I go to traffic director, most of the causes
Television, Femunyo.
Lorry, truck, and heavy commercial vehicle drivers, and this had an impact, a general reduction of those crashes during the festive season. And I think you can remember that during the last festive season, we didn't register many of those fatal crashes because among the tools we deployed were the breathalyzers. So it is true, we can reduce the accidents by really so much sustaining. And I hope this year that improvement will be realized in sustaining and countrywide these operations. Two, the revenue collected from these offenses we give, I am on the enforcement side, and I give tickets according to how the offense has been identified. And later, a reconciliation by our revenue department in the police force is done with URA. I wish to mention that that reconciliation, I have not captured it, but I think if I move on to the sister department, I can get the figures. But the reconciliation would give us the correct figure with URA. You note that we don't collect this money and tomorrow you know how much you have collected. That one can't happen. The system reconciles with URA. Someone talked about the behavioral cause, because reckless and careless overtaking, speeding, these are behavior. But the moment we automate all our traffic enforcement systems, people will behave. I want to assure you that this process is ongoing. We have now CCTV cameras and number plate recognition cameras. And those number plate recognition cameras are doing a great job. Where they are fixed, we rarely have misbehavior because the general public knows the camera is there. Now, we need to expand, and our move towards ITMS, Intelligent Monitoring System, will now make our work easy, and the behavior will improve, and we shall register less accidents. I wish to inform you that when you move in Kampala, there are many junctions that are being worked on, and once the traffic lights work and work intelligently, then we withdraw our manpower and concentrate on enforcement. These signaled junctions will do their work if the cameras installed there are intelligent, as the way we are moving into this automation. Then the structural causes, you see, once a road deteriorates and develops a pothole, or if it is a rainy season and wait for it, You are going to see landslides and sweeping our good infrastructure. Once that place has been swept, and maybe you come when you don't know that it rained a few hours, you are likely to have a crash, a motor crash there. And those ones have to be there with those natural calamities. We also have where the roads are narrow. You remember this infrastructure dates back from the colonial days when you had less than 100 vehicles, but here you have millions of vehicles. Now, some of these roads are still used, and they are narrow. And by that time, we did not have actress bends, where its diameter here is 9 feet, and a bus, Scania, 9 feet. So when they are passing each other, these side mirrors have to slap each other, and after slapping, to avoid slapping each other, those side mirrors, one vehicle encroaches on the pedestrian walkway, and finally a life can be lost. So we still have this infrastructure. And this is why I said in the long run, because you are not going to improve this infrastructure today, in the long run, we are going to improve, the country is going to improve its road infrastructure. If you can get the statistics from Ministry of Works, you will know how the paved roads that we have in this country, you will see the growth. And be hopeful, the infrastructure will improve. Then someone mentioned that it is related with these roads. Please, redesigning roads cannot end. Even where we have the best roads in maybe Scandinavian countries, they are still redesigning these roads. Have you seen the redesign at Clock Tower? That should give you faith. Have you seen the redesigning at Mulago Roundabout? Yes, that one should give you faith. The infrastructure is going to improve. It's going to improve, and hopefully the road crashes will also go down. The zebra crossing, I want to give you more information about now the zebra crossings, isn't it? Even where you have signposts telling you to behave in a certain manner, drivers don't do what the signpost tells you. You only want a police officer to be also deployed at the signpost. The stretch from Munyonyo up to Kajansi has good signages. But we must deploy a police officer with a speed gun to control your behavior. What is this behavior in Ugandan road users that they cannot? Can you disseminate this information that this behavior is bad and your impact may be felt? And I give these examples out. Even you people, you are road users, when you find such an offense, you can take a picture and send it to us. We look for this person. Collectively, we can handle road safety together. I want to assure you that a road speaks. The road talks. It speaks. It tells you, don't drive this speed. Meaning, you drive beyond that one, you have a problem. It tells you children are crossing. It tells you there is a bend, warning you that there is a bend somewhere. It tells you this is a bus stop. It tells you cattle crossing. Isn't the road speaking? What is it that we road users, we cannot change our behavior? And do you want to assume that the amount of road safety education is less If I gave you the statistics, you would not believe that we have carried out a number of sensitization radio programs, and you people are the ones who host us. You know it. But the behavior is not changing. And because of this, we are engaging judiciary. Hear this. We are engaging judiciary to designate a specific magistrate to handle traffic offenses so that we see custodial sentences. These fines we give on the road do not change behavior. And therefore, we would like to have custodial. We are going to engage judiciary. Actual engagements already started. The moment we get magistrates designated to handle traffic offenses, then we shall deal with those characters that are impossible to change their behavior. Lastly, CBS. No, I made a general because I made a general statistic, and it generalized. However, we can segregate that statistic and come to the exact point you want. The right of way, even private vehicles, isn't it, can drive on the right. I want to tell you that many times we've seen vehicles following vehicles with a right of way. Private vehicles follow the vehicles with a right of way. You have violated because you are not part of that group that have a right of way. Isn't it? The principal is passing, the convoy has moved, but you want also to move. And yet you cannot match the speed of those vehicles with the right of way. You are driving a Raum, you want to go with someone with a V8. Isn't it? Those vehicles, you know. So, the right of way, again, is true. Government vehicles have also violated. And I have the statistics on how many government vehicles have violated this right of way, and even those involved in crashes. But I also want to add another category on government vehicles: diplomatic registered number plates or registered vehicles are increasingly violating traffic regulations and increasingly involved in fatal crashes. And when we try to get the culprits,
See, that's may not be on air that time. There are very few you may get at night. So you find the police finds it hard that they reach that place in time. So we're really warning them. They should not give us that information. And I thank you very much. Even me, before I put on this uniform, I used to ask such questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. When they said someone should speak Uganda, I don't know why PRO did not ask me. The question from Taremo of Spy Reports is on how much money in corruption cases was lost. The answer is 1,082,700,000. The figure is 1,082,000,000. There are some other figures. I will share with you. Yes. I want to be clear on this. When you are dealing with cases of corruption, cases you are referring to, it is not just embezzlement of government funds. In the reporting line, the category means and includes corruption in government, corruption in private sector, and other cases of obtaining by false pretense. So that is a summation. If you want a segregated data, we shall share with you. Number 2 is gun violence. Did you recover guns? The answer is yes. The figures, again, I can share with you. And in terms of police officers involved in crime, the answer, not police officers, security officers. It means and includes police, UPDF, prisons, and private security. Am I correct? Yes, the answer is yes. The segregated data will also be shared with you. And my brother from UBC, my son, I think, from UBC asked about how much we recover versus how much we return to government. Now, I have indicated that I don't have segregated specific data of recoveries right now, but we can share with you. However, all funds that are recovered that relate to government go back to government. Sometimes before the case, sometimes after the conclusion of the case. The decision on when to give is given by the Director of Public Prosecutions, who prosecutes these cases. The monies that belong to individuals also go back to the individuals at the end of the investigations. I thank you very much, and
on the over 200 cases registered last year, one would like to know whether you count cases that are only recorded in the station diary or those are transferred in the recording book.
Cases that are reported in the police, the station diary is a counter book where you record all incidents at the police station. It can be, I have come to work, I have left work, I have gone to the field, I have come back to the field. So when you look at figures on a station diary, it is descriptive of activities at the police station. It means and includes cases reported. However, all cases reported that are criminal in nature are extracted from the station diary and registered in the crime report book, which is a CRB, and that is what we report. Otherwise, if you report SD, the numbers are not necessarily criminal cases reported. And criminal report book at the Directorate of Criminal Investigations are referred to as e-reference. A general inquiry is more also an SD. General inquiry checks it out. Someone has come and reported a case, so we want to check out whether there is crime. And as soon as the preliminaries indicate a crime, you enter it in an inquiry file that now facilitates criminal investigations for purposes of prosecution. I thank you very much. We are looking forward to working with you. Singa mani Uganda. I don't know
and I was requested to interpret, but allow me also give this opportunity for the directors to take their leave, and also thank them for being with us. Asante sana. Is laying us. You still need him? Oh, we can go. Yes.
Demungamba